One of the most important messages that I try to spread out there as the mama dentist on social media is that perfection is the enemy of good enough. A lot of times people feel like there are not options, and if they can't do it ideally, then they don't do it at all. And that is so not the case. There are lots of alternatives, and I'm going to share some of those with you here in this module. Toothbrushing. So you can use an electric brush or a manual toothbrush. They really are equivalent in effectiveness as long as you're using proper technique. I've got lots of videos on social media. I'm probably going to make another module that will go through proper technique for both of those. But if you cannot tolerate well traditional toothbrushing, a manual toothbrush or electric, there are ultra soft bristle options. There's also a triple-sided brush option that is great for folks who just struggle dexterity-wise to reach all areas or who struggle to brush for the full 2 minutes. This can help get in and out more efficiently for caregivers or for someone who themselves is struggling. So these are all fantastic. I would avoid, as of now, the U-shaped toothbrushes. They just are not as effective as other methods. Now, flossing is most beneficial when it comes to the prevention of gum disease. It hasn't been shown in studies to be as effective at preventing cavities. That's more related to diet and fluoride exposure and toothbrushing, but flossing is important for gum health. Some alternatives to traditional string floss that I like are floss picks or these interdental brushes, Proxa brushes. This one's by TP, this is gum, but they can help clean in between your teeth, just the same as string floss, maybe not quite as well, but still perfection, the enemy of good. If you're going to use these regularly, great, versus string floss that's just going to sit in the drawer. Two other methods of cleaning in between the teeth that some people like, if they have a bit more space between their teeth, there is something called Simply Floss. It is reusable, and so for elderly people who have spaces between their teeth, for young children, this might be helpful. And then a water pick. I have a cordless one, so I can use it in the shower because they're kind of messy, but it's also easy to refill with warmish water in the shower. But it can be a great way to get rid of some of that debris along the gum line and in between your teeth, especially if you don't like traditional string floss. There are other methods. And my favorite method is the one that you will use regularly. One of my favorite topics to cover is toothpaste. I hope you know that if you do not like mint or you hate the burn of toothpaste, you are not weird and you are not alone. That is a really common complaint. Most toothpaste have an ingredient called sodium lauryl sulfate, or SLS, that some people are sensitive to and can make them prone to mouth ulcers. So if you get mouth ulcers frequently or you have a really strong burning sensation, you might want to find a paste that is SLS free. And there are many options out there now, especially kids' paste. A kid's toothpaste is totally fine to use as an adult. If it has fluoride or nanohydroxyapatite, I'm happy, preferably fluoride, but I'm liking nanohydroxyapatite the more that I'm learning about it, although it is not a replacement for fluoride. There are many flavor options out there, including flavorless toothpaste. One is Nurse, another is Dr. Bob's, and then Hello and Tanner's Tasty Paste are two of my favorite brands of kids' toothpaste that has some great non-traditional flavors. This one tastes like cake icing, and then there's strawberry, blue raspberry, lots of fruity ones from Hello that are wonderful. And these, both brands, are SLS free, so you will have no burning. Now, if texture is the issue, you can try a gel-like toothpaste. This one does have SLS, but it is a gel consistency. And then Carry-Free, this has nanohydroxyapatite and fluoride. This has just nanohydroxyapatite, but they're a gel consistency and have no SLS, so no foaming. So you can try just a different texture. Or worst case scenario, if you really cannot stand the texture of any toothpaste, any foaminess, just dip your toothbrush in fluoride mouth rinse and brush with that. Now, sometimes it's timing that gets the best of folks. The brushing for the full 2 minutes feels overwhelming. They get bored. They can't do that. And so that is where some apps can come in and be helpful. Pokemon Smile is a fun one that a lot of people like. Also, Brush DJ will play music while you brush. Timing kind of comes to play in other ways for people when they think about the ideal times to brush and they cannot, for whatever reason, achieve those, and then they end up not brushing at all. So again, perfection is the enemy of good enough. If you know that the ideal times to brush are before breakfast and then right before bed, but you never remember, you get busy and you cannot do it right before bed, then brush your teeth when you remember, when you think about it, when you get home from school or when you get done with dinner. But brushing twice at the non-ideal times of day is better than not brushing at all. So brush when you think about it, brush when you remember. Keep toothbrushes all over the house. I have one on my nightstand and in the kitchen so that if I'm in one of those places where I tend to remember it, but I didn't used to have a toothbrush available, now I do.